podcast. I'm streaming live here from Lisbon, Portugal, here for the Decentralized Summit for Logos Blockchain, the Parallel Society. And I'm here live streaming from my Airbnb. So sorry for the quality of the video, but either way, we're going to build something cool today. So today I want to kind of dive in and kind of level set for developers that are going to be coming in and want to build agents. We're going to be talking about how you can get started building quickly on ampersend using our examples repo. So we're about to open up the full access for ampersend. And so we're gonna have a lot of people that are gonna wanna build agents and they're not gonna know where to go. And so this video is to kind of walk you guys through the process of building an app in ampersend and also how to get started with the examples repo. So this will be a reference point for anyone who is excited about building agents and wants to build agents in the coming weeks. Please watch this video and follow along. So without further ado, let me just go ahead and share my screen. And what we're going to do is we're going to look at a couple things. More for specifically, we're going to be talking about the EduNode ampersend-examples repo. Okay, so anyone that's following along, you guys can kind of go here and check this repo out. This is kind of like a good starting point for the SDK. So we have the ampersend-sdk, which is basically a couple different SDKs. One is for Python, which is if you want to use like Google A2A, and then we also have a TypeScript implementation for if you want to do something over HTTP or MCP. And so you can kind of pick what you want. But this example repos, again, is kind of like a starting point. So you can kind of come into each different folder and kind of like get some examples, right? So, you know, some existing ones here that we can kind of like go off of. So what we're going to want to do is we're going to come in here and go ahead and grab this kind of URL, right? So we're going to open up a new directory here and our new terminal, and we'll do a git clone. And we'll call it ampersend demo. Okay. Oh, that already exists. Let's go ahead and get rid of that. I've already used that, so let me delete that. And then we'll do that clone again. So again, what we're going to do is basically clone down this kind of example repo, which kind of has just an example application with the SDK already installed inside of it that we can kind of use as a reference point. And then we're going to use AI and the ampersend dashboard to hook these things up together. Okay, so we're going to clone the repo, and then we're going to go into that ampersend demo. And once we're in here, we can go ahead and load up this in Cursor. So if you're using an editor, you can use VS Code or Cursor or whatever you choose, doesn't matter. We're going to use Cursor just because that's what I like to use. It's my go-to. And we're going to be using, so first let's look at the kind of layout here. So we have like an example env file, which is pretty important because it's got things like the Google API key, the Open API key. If you're using Open API, you kind of can choose which one you want. It needs, like, if you're using A2A, it needs the buyer smart account address or the session private key, which is the essentially the private key for the buyer. Then you need a pay to address if you're going to receive payments. If you're doing LangChain, same thing. There's some variables here. We're going to use AI. Hopefully AI kind of helps us kind of like flesh this out. And we also probably have some existing env stuff that we can load in. We'll try to walk you guys through the steps so you know how to do this. And we won't use an existing env actually. It'll make it a lot better. So I want to do the TypeScript one. You know, obviously we have the Google A2A one. A lot of the demos I've done in the past are on the A2A version. So we'll try doing the TypeScript example here. Okay. And then there's a few different ones. I guess we can do like probably the fast MCP server here. And so each of these examples has like a repo, or sorry, README that basically walks you through, you know, what you need to do. So let's do it together. Okay, so we have like our little AI panel. If you're new to vibe coding or coding at all, and you're using Cursor, there's this kind of AI panel. We can like use that later. But we can kind of maybe do some of this stuff manually so that you can see kind of what we need to do. basically we need to install the dependencies in this repo, and then we need to build and make sure it builds properly. And then we can basically, I guess, basically make sure the CLI works, start it, and then run it, and then we should be able to kind of like simulate this thing. We could ask AI to kind of do all this for us, which maybe we'll end up doing if we have any issues or hiccups, but let's just try it. So we're going to go into the examples folder, TypeScript examples folder, and we'll see what's inside there. So again, we have the fast MCP server. We'll use that one. So we'll cd into there. And then in here, we have this kind of like full repos, right? So that's what we'll use, right? So we need to first install the dependencies. So this is going to use pnpm to go out, fetch all the packages. Hopefully there's no issue with my internet connection here, but we will install the dependencies and we'll kind of let that sit a second. pnpm is going to do it pretty fast. Then we're going to build, make sure that it builds properly. Let's hope we don't run into hiccups. If we do, we'll use AI, but build successfully. And then we're going to start the server. So in this case, it wants us to, let's see what it's saying here. So start the server on the default port. I'm not sure. Let's see here. So this is going to start the MCP, it looks like. So now we can kind of split the screen up. So what I did right here is I just kind of split the screen up into a second screen because we're going to keep this MCP server up and running. I'm not sure if we have the environment variable set properly for it, so we might need to come back here. But it looks to me like it should be up and running. Let's see, that's the CLI using NPM. So you can do it different ways. These are just the 3 different ways you can start it. But in the end, this is what we're looking for. We want it to display that it's connected to the MCP, or that you can connect to the MCP. The MCP is running on this port 8080. So then we can also set a different port if we're like having some kind of weird conflict, but we're not. And then we could test. So we could actually run this and see if we're able to communicate. And there it goes. So we get like an error code, not a valid session ID, which is fine. It's not a problem, but it is responding. So that's fine. And then we can also test with this echo. Let's see if that even works. It might also not work because we don't have a session ID, but let's try it. Same thing, bad request, but we'll get to there when we want to get to that point. But we know the MCP is running, right? And so for this particular example, let's see here. So what does it want for the env? It's actually interesting. It doesn't actually need an env. So this is just a minimal MCP server implementation that can be used for building example MCP. So what we can do here is let's try the other. Let's look at some of the other examples. Let's go to this one here, which is x402 HTTP client. Let's see this one here. So this one has the same instructions, install the dependencies, and yeah, so come into there. So we can come here to this TypeScript example, which we're already in there, I think. Let's see, cd x402 HTTP client, okay. And we'll do the PNP install here. All right, that was quick. And then we can actually run the server. So all right, so this is saying that we need to have this this particular environment variable found. So at this point, we could maybe like leverage AI a little bit. So we want to run this example here. So x402 HTTP client. What env variables do we need? And we can actually try to like get those from ampersend as we need them. So yeah, don't be afraid to use AI if you're going to do some coding. It's very, very useful in this day and age. So this is going to tell us exactly what we need. We need a smart account address, and we need the HTTP client session key, right? So what it's telling us to do is to grab the example and copy it over into a new env file, right? So we can do that. Oh, That's weird. Should be there. Oh, the env is actually in the root of the application. So let's go back to here. I think it's here. Yeah. There we go. So it's going to create this one right here. Then it wants us to go in there and run the server. So but we need to get that variable installed first. So let's do that. So we'll go in there, and then we need to add these things, right? So we need the smart account address and the private key. Okay, so what we're gonna do now is go into ampersand. So when ampersand is set up, when you first log in, this is kind of what you see. It is a dashboard for generating essentially wallet accounts for your agent, right? So you have this kind of like concept of a smart account, which is this high level account, which is here that you fund with USDC or any kind of like thing that's x402 supported in the platform. And in this case, we're talking about USDC. And you're funding it here, and then you create these agents, right? And these are kind of like, the idea is you want to give access to the agent to have funds, but you also want to restrict how much funds they have. You want to restrict how much they spend in transactions. You want to auto top up the funds for them if they need more money over a certain amount of time. And so there's definitely these configuration changes that you need to make or automate. And so the idea is that you can come here, click plus, and you will be able to create an agent on the fly. So we will call this one example. We will give it a daily limit of like 50 cents or something like that, a monthly limit of $1, transaction limit of, I don't know, 0.1, maybe 10 cents. So you can like customize obviously how much you want your agent to spend. You can also, if this is a seller agent, you can accept, some value into the thing and then auto collect it. It'll sweep the funds to your main account. And we can also register with ERC 8004. I covered this in a previous post earlier in the week, so you can watch that. But basically, you might want to register this with the ERC 8004 so that you can have others basically discover it and basically verify your identity. It's like an on-chain identity for your agent. But most importantly, we get this private key. So we're going to show it just because showing does not work. Okay, we're going to copy it. And we're going to come over here and place it in the session key. So this is what we need. We need the private key. So it is TS examples HTTP//to client session key. So it's this one here. So I'll just kind of cut this off so you guys can't see the full key. Save it. It doesn't really matter. I'm going to delete the key anyways after I'm done. But we have the key saved. And we're done. Oh, now it shows. Okay, so it's going to save. It's going to basically generate and then fund the account. So this will take a second because it's got to, basically do a blockchain transaction, right? Because we're actually creating and funding the account. So now we have this account. At least I think it's doing a blockchain transaction, but it definitely is, because it needs to top up and send that value over there. And so here we have our example. And then we have this like this is the public address for the agent, which is here. So we're going to grab that. And that is what we need to put in the other env, which is here. That's the smart account address. At least I think that's the right one. We'll find out here in a second. Should be good. Okay, so let's just leverage AI. We've added the private key. We've added the public key. And then, okay, let's test. Actually, we can just run it here. PNP run dev, I believe is what it needed. PNP dev. Oh, it did not work. Let's see here. I thought that I added it. HTTP client, did I save it? Let's see. HTTP client. Oh, maybe I need to move it into the right folder. Let's see, let's try one more time. I did save it, right? Yeah, I just saved. Maybe I need to move this into this folder here. Let's see. So I just moved it into the root. That's not right either. Oh, that should work. We put it back, and then let's see what it says. Let's ask AI. So we are trying to start this, and we're getting an error. So let's find out why. Could be that. So the nice thing about AI is you can just basically paste the error and then it's gonna be like, oh, well, you're retarded and you didn't do this correctly. So it's gonna fix it for you. So should be good. It might want me to check the env file. Normally you would want to probably do this stuff but with your eyes, but oh, it looks like it wants to actually do a change. Oh yeah, it does want to load from a different directory. Interesting. Okay, well, let's try it. It made a change to the thing, which should actually work. Oh, okay, fetch failed. Cool, so we're getting some more output here at least. So it did load the key this time, but now we're getting this fetch failed for the client. So let's see what it says. All right, they're loading now. Yeah, the environment variables. So we need to update the examples to hit the local FastM instead, or do you want to point it to FastMCP server first? I thought this was an HTTP client example. Let's see, help me get it set up the way you suggest. So let's just see what AI suggests here. So what we have is, yeah, basically, so it's going to go through right now and check. Let's just double check the README while that's doing that. So build dev, project store. This is a very, very basic kind of high level example. So maybe it's going to want to build something out actually to do it properly. Let's see. Yeah, so it's actually building like a test server and then it's going to run it on that port. So the idea here is that we want to protect, or we want to issue or like serve an HTTP application on a certain port, make it x402 enabled, and then request payments of it using the ampersand. And so this kind of is a, okay, so now, so yeah, so basically what it did is it created a server and now it's going to have the dev server. So first we can start the server. So let's actually do that. And then, oh, that did not work. Should we get server? That's interesting. Doesn't, so I'm going to say PNPM server doesn't seem to load. Just doesn't give console output. Let's see what it says. It's weird. It might not have built the server properly. Going to try it here, which is going to get the same response. That's strange. Yes, it is strange. Let's see if this works. Okay, that works. Interesting. So I needed to actually, it wants me to actually use npx to run it manually. We also probably want it to be a different pay-to address so we can see the pay-to address. We'll try that here in a second. Yeah, that's so weird. Something with the .env, I think, is probably not loaded properly. Oh, maybe that's what it is actually. .env allow. Wait, that's weird. That's even weirder. I don't know, .env installed. Okay. So it's trying to figure out exactly why it won't let me run the client. So the server's running. Now it's going to kill it and try to restart it again one more time. Let's see. Interesting. So there's definitely an issue with the setup. Okay, well, that's fine. We can just tell it to use this actually. Okay, so it just is updating the command to start the server. So I think the AI was not smart enough to figure out how to run the server the first time. So, okay, so so now we should be able to do that one more time. What we can do is now run the client. So we're going to come down here and we're going to go into the same directory. So cd into here. And we're going to run pnp dev. Let's see. Okay, so now we're getting pip failed to parse invalid payment response. Okay, let's see. So it looks like the server should be running, but now we're not able to query the server to make a payment. So let's see why that might be failing. Could be a bug we found in the demo, which is good. We're doing live decode demoing here, or live debugging. Okay, so now what it's trying to do, let's see, let's make sure we know what it's doing. Making sure that the node modules, I don't know, it's actually diving into the, it could be a version of the SDK needs updated or something. Let's see. Interesting. It actually wants to modify the test server. Okay, so yeah, so the first initial test server that it built is not up to spec with how ampersend needs to handle x402 payments. So it looks like it's actually fixing that. So we're gonna try that again. So it's killing the server, then it's gonna start it up again, which it's running now. And now we should be able to run this again in the next terminal. Let's come over here, PNP run dev. See if it works. Failed to create payment. Oh, that's still not working. So let's just do it here. See if we can figure it out. So progress. It looks like the network issue. Okay, so it had the wrong network listed. It's going to kill it again, run the server again. So it's cool. We're creating a x402 enabled server. By the end, we'll be able to push this to Git, and then you guys will be able to see both sides of it, right? A seller side and a buyer side. And what we'll do here in a sec is we'll update this pay to address with also with an ampersand account so that we can track that. So let's just make sure it works first. We're going to be paying 0x, but let's see if it works. Failed to create payment payload. So it's still having an issue, but let's see. Let's see what else it needs to do. It probably would help if I was using a better model. Right now I'm using like auto. You might want to use like Opus 4.6 at the time of this recording. This should be right. It wants us to double check. They look invalid or expired. They should not be expired, but let's just rotate them anyways. So this should be the public key, and that should be good. Let's see. Let's go into the NV again. Make sure it matches. That's right. Let's get a new key. So we can revoke this key. So the idea with ampersand is like your agents, you might want to rotate the keys, right? So you can just come in here and then add another key. So we'll click add a key and we'll copy it, we'll save it, and then we'll replace this one. Again, these are just testing keys. Hopefully no one's withdrawing all my funds live right now. Let's see what we got here. Okay, so now we'll try it again. That's so weird. It should be working unless it wants this address as the other thing. Let's try. So there's also this key, agent key, and maybe it thinks that is the one it needs for the public key. Let's try it one more time. That's weird. Yeah, it should be the other one. There's definitely something not right here. Okay, let's go back here. Let's ask again. Still doing this. And let's also use this as the public address, because that should be the one we use, which is here. Okay, let's see what it says. Staging versus production. No, are we using the production API? Yeah, we should be. Oh, we were using staging. That was the problem. So there's a config for x402, and we needed to point it at the production. So we were pointing it at stage, which is basically base Sepolia. So let's try that. Or sorry, staging is the staging environment for ampersand, which yeah, is a different environment. We're using the actual live ampersand. So there's also staging.ampersend.io. So that's definitely why it was probably not working. Let's try it one more time. Ah, there we go. Cool, success. We paid for the resource. So what we did, first of all, let's kill this other service so I can show you exactly what we did. So we're going to do lsoff-i 3000 here. And we're going to do kill-9 on this. Kill that server. And then we're going to run the server again, okay, in this window. Okay, so here we have the HTTP x402 enabled server running on port 3001 that is providing a resource, but with a pay-to address here. So what we want to do is probably update this address to actually be something that we can really receive funds on. So same thing, we'll go into ampersand, we'll go back, and we will update the pay-to address. So we need to create a new agent, and we'll call this moneymaker. And we don't need to worry about auto top-ups or any of that stuff because it's just receiving. It's just a seller. So we can copy it. Or actually, we don't even need the private key because we're just going to receive money. So we're going to create it. So at this point, we're creating another agent and agent key. And then we're going to point our application, our front end that is receiving the HTTP payment at this address, so that this address is the one that gets payments, right? So let's come over here, and then I think we can do that with just, let's look right here. Example, I don't even know where it needs to go though. You know what, there's probably not an environment variable for it because it built this right now. It's probably hard coded. So let's look in there. Here we go, test server. Let's see where it's at. So it built a server, and here it is, right there. Example HTTP X server pay2. So we actually need to make sure this is in the thing. To use examples, there we go. So it's using this new variable that it created, and we need to copy this and paste it here, okay? So now we have a pay2 address, we have a payee address, and we have a private key for signing, right? So now we have the server running. Let's stop it again and start it one more time. Oh, that's weird. It still shows that. That's not right. Let's go back here. Let's just double check the code. And oh, you know what? It might be loading from a weird spot. So let's see here. Oh, no, it should be doing that. Well, let me just hard code it here. Probably not best practice, but this is a demo. Okay. We're going to do server pay2 this, and make sure there's no other places it's hard coded. Yeah. So this is the server, the HTTP server that it builds. And now we'll start it one more time. There we go. Okay. So now we have an agent in ampersand that's a seller. It's this. And then now we have a buyer that is also using ampersend-sdk that's an ampersand that's down here. So we have the seller running. Now we're just going to go ahead and execute this and make a purchase. And there we go. Success. It worked. So what we can do is take a look at this address here. Well, let's look at this one on base scan. So we're going to go to basescan.org. And we're going to look at this. So let's see if it works. Internal transactions 2 minutes ago. Safe creation. It should have worked. Oh, you know what? The transaction might not be. It doesn't look like it actually worked. I don't actually see the payment there because it should have shown up here as an actual transaction. Let's just double check. Oh, maybe that's not the address that we see gets the payment. No, because that should be the pay2 address. So let's come back here to the thing and refresh. Oh, look, next thing we need to do is make sure it's on base mainnet because these could be on like base Sepolia. I'm just curious. Let's look on base Sepolia actually. Base Sepolia scan. And let's see if maybe it did on the wrong one. No, it's not that. It's weird. Let's see if we get a transaction. Oh, here, let's look at maybe this smart account and see. Let's go to base scan again. Internal transactions. Token transfers. Yeah, this is definitely, it doesn't look like I actually made this transaction successfully. So let's just double check. Well, here's what we'll try to do. Let's just double check. I don't see the transaction on base scan. So maybe we want to get ask for a receipt. Can we get a receipt? Let's see if we can make sure that it's actually doing it. Oh, they created a mock server. That's hilarious. Yeah, we don't want a mock server. We need a real one. That's funny. Oh, I gotta love AI. AI can be so nice sometimes. Let's see if it actually builds it out. Okay. Oh, it's gonna kill this one. That's fine. So it's going to kill this one, start it, and then now we can run the server one more time. Let's see if it works. PnP run dev. Oh, settlement set. Okay, so it looks like it did it. So this is the real transaction, but it got a 402 and it didn't make the payment, which is interesting. So we actually want to showcase that the payment was going to be made. So so we're going to tell it like, hey, we want to make the payment with the ampersend send SDK. Let's just make sure it's doing it. It could be something again with the way that it created the server. Could be a couple different things. Let's see what it says. And we'll wait for that to finish. Also could be a facilitator issue. That makes sense. So with x402, you basically need to have this kind of facilitator that can kind of like verify the payments. So it looks like so in this case, there's no facilitator configured. And so we're running into issues with that. So let's see what it does. So it's going to try to use the public facilitator by Coinbase now to actually settle the transaction during that process. So let's see if that works. Okay, so it added the proper types for X402. It's actually implementing the proper types for x402, and it's also going to use the facilitator. And so then now we're going to run it again. Let's see if that works. That failed. Let's try one more time. Seems like it's failing. Okay, so now it's up and running. We'll try it one more time now, see if it works. PnP run dev. Okay, well, we're getting places. So it looks like it has to do with the version 2 of HTTP, or sorry, of x402. Oh, it's got to modify something on the test. Okay, it's going to kill it one more time. Okay, now it's up and running. Okay, so now we'll try it one more time. PnP run dev, or PnP dev. There we goes. All right, I think it worked. So let's just double check that we actually get that payment here. We need to look at this one. Let's look at this address here. Internal transactions. This is still not, doesn't look like it's actually making the payments. Doesn't look right. Why does it say skip verification true? So it works in a real settlement or moving. Yeah, we don't want to skip that. Turn that to false. I hate when AI is just trying to, like, you know, think it knows what you're trying to accomplish. Okay. So we have the server running one more time. Now we're going to try it one more time. $500 error. Oh no, that's not good. That's definitely not what we want. Okay, so now we're getting a 500 error. Let's see what it's saying. We might need to use the Coinbase facilitator. We could try that. Yep, so it's trying to use the x402 facilitator. Maybe because we're, doing ERC-4337 payments, smart account transactions, we need to use the actual CDP facilitator. So the Coinbase developer platform, they have their own facilitator. And because we're signing with 4337, maybe we need to use that. So we can try. There should be a setting in the ENV for that, actually. Oh, no, there's not. Okay. Okay, we're going to run it one more time. See if that works. Okay, we're going to try it one more time. Here we go. Let's see. PnP run dev. Still getting a 500. What we could do is, should I configure CDP facilitator? Let's kind of hint to it. Let's see if that will work. Yeah, okay, so what we need for that is an actual CDP developer account. So we could actually walk through that, I think. Well, actually, I'll probably need to just stop sharing and then grab the environment variable for it. See what it needs. So it's installing this stuff for the to be able to use the CDP facilitator. Okay, so, wow, that was way out of date. Okay, so we're gonna install all those dependencies for the x402 facilitator here. Okay, so we need to set these things. So I have these somewhere in my computer. I just need to grab them real quick. So I'm going to put them down below here. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll stop sharing and I will go grab those. And let's see here. We'll grab those from, or actually I'll just log in and grab them. So we go to CDP, Coinbase developer platform or developer CDP. We'll go there. We'll sign in. So yeah, you can just basically create a Coinbase account and then you go to login.coinbase.com, create an account, and then we could probably have used like a public facilitator as well that maybe supports that. But in this case, this is probably just the easiest thing. So generate an API key. Looks like I already have a bunch here, but I'll create a new one for this. We'll call it demo. And we'll create it. Complete two-factor authentication. Okay. So I have the app key ID I'm going to put in, and then it's going to give us a secret, which I'm going to put in. Okay, now that I'm going to hide and close, and then I'll start sharing here again. Okay, so we'll go share my screen again, entire screen. Okay, so now we're back. So let's say, okay, I have added those to my env. Cool. So now it should want to probably kill the server again, run it, and then we'll run the dev server one more time. So basically what we're having to do here is we're building out an HTTP service that supports x402. Yeah, it's using it. Great. Okay, cool. So now we should be able to run it one more time. So clear, and here we go. Come on, cross your fingers. It's still getting a failed error. That's so weird. Let's see. Well, it's the server that I built that's failing. So what we could do is maybe turn on a better model here and then see if it fixes it. All right, here we go. See what it's doing. It'd be interesting to figure out what exactly is the problem. Oh, it's still showing that it's using the x402 facilitator, so maybe it wasn't configured properly. Let's see if it does it the right way. Okay, yeah, so it's configuring this facilitator the proper way now. It's going to kill the server one more time and run it. And let's do it. So now it's actually hopefully using this facilitator. Okay, clear, and boom. 400 bad requests. Still not working. Well, that's different though, because it was giving a 500 before. No, we don't want to. Okay, so maybe what we need to do is we could show the demo using just EOA. So maybe that is the issue now. So let's see if we can just, can you sign with the EOA? So yeah, for some reason the example's off. Could have been something changed with the SDK recently. Let's try it one more time. Okay. All right, so it looks like it's going to modify the package for the example to use the EOA. And let's see if that works. Oh, but it's trying to remove the ampersend-sdk completely. That's not ideal. We can actually try to go to the ampersand dashboard real quick. And let's see here. HTTP, I think it's this here. And we're gonna look at this and Node.js. Let's just make sure that it's using this code. So if you go to like your agent and you go to setup instructions, this wizard kind of walks you through like what the syntax should look like. So we're building an HTTP service here. here, and then we're using Node.js. So let's just make sure that this syntax here is the same as what is in here. I'm just going to tell it like I want to use ampersend-sdk. Make sure the code looks like this. Let's just see if that helps. Maybe it was just kind of an out-of-date example. Okay. If this doesn't work, then yeah. Let's see. Oh, don't tell me it was the wrong network this whole time. It looks like it was trying to use another network. Okay. And just for the sake of like, I'm going to turn off auto. I'm going to put it on Opus. Let's do this real quick. And we will ask, if this doesn't work, we'll ask Opus to fix it, let's say. I don't want to skip verification. Okay, killing the server, running it one more time. There we go. All right, here we go. Fingers crossed. Yep, pure on dev. Ah, man, still not working. I'm gonna try this. Clear this chat completely, and I'm gonna tell it here, like, server's running, but I am trying to use this, and it's gone. Let's try to ask Opus and see if maybe it can figure it out. Okay. Could be that it's using the wrong HTTP format, x402 format too, because maybe it tried to build a version 2 of x402. I don't know. Let's see. So it's kind of looking through the library to make sure that it, yeah, changing the version, it looks like. Let's see. Yeah. So maybe it's switching to HTTP 1, or sorry, x402 version 1 versus 2. And looks like the network format didn't match what the facilitator expects as well. So we are using, oh, we'll get to that when we need it. Let's see if it fixes it. I think it's going to actually fix it right now, because those do sound like it's definitely issues. Okay, so yeah, so it's switching to the V1 format, and we want to use base, not base Sepolia. You can see it's trying to use base Sepolia. I have to tell it. Okay. Well, we can start it manually. Oh. Yeah, let's do this. Sure. So we're going to try again. Okay, server's running. Now we're trying one more time. See if Opus fixed it. Still 400 bad requests. Interesting. Oh, this is, the demo gods are not in my favor today. Let's see. I'm gonna give it both. Oh, it wasn't restarted properly. Interesting. No, because I just killed it and started in a new terminal. Wait, is there another one running or something? Interesting. Okay, so let's do it one more time. We'll run this. So PNP executes. There we go. Okay, let's try it one more time. I'm on. Oh man, still not working. They're running on port like 3002, right? No. Okay, so the version 1 is working. So it's got enough funds. Oh, was the demo asking for more than it needed? No. Oh, is the ampersend-sdk actually blocking it? Maybe because of the restriction? Let's go back. No, it was like a dollar or something. Well, this is going to be quite interesting once it actually fixes it, so. All right, let's see. Live troubleshooting. Okay, here we go. So it's using the right token name, yeah. Oh, it's using the wrong token name. You know, I've had this come up before in the past. This is a good to know. It's not USDC, it's USD coin. This is so dumb, but it happened to me in another demo. So if that's really what it is, it's going to be super annoying. But okay, here we go. PNP dev. Oh, I think it worked. Yeah, there it worked. Woohoo! Success, settled on chain. Okay, so wow, so there was a number of issues. So I guess to start, so the server that we built, or that AI built for us initially, was using HTTP2, x402 version 2, and the ampersend SDK is really built around x402 version 1. So we needed to downgrade that server so that it's expecting version 1. And then we also had this issue where the token that the server was accepting was USDC, but actually the token name is USD coin, which is really silly. And then there looks like it was also trying to point at base Sepolia, but it all resolved. So now let's go to the dashboard one more time and let's take a look at, we can filter by activity and see if we actually see some activity. Yeah, we don't actually see the activity. It could be, let me just double check that the transaction was done. There it is. Let's see. Base scan. Yeah, it's here. and the payment was made from this address. So we'll come over here, just double check. Okay, well, there's an issue. So the transaction worked. It was successful. It just looks like, oh wow, there was actually a lot of different transactions here. Oh, this is all Circle. This is the Circle contract. So we'll grab this again. Oh, geez, I have to delete that key now. Interesting, agents with activity, but we don't see the seller. So there must be something wrong with the dashboard right now, but we should see here in this. So if we look at the actual transaction, which is here, yeah, that's the same one, right? And we go to base scan. Oh. And paste that in. Yeah, so it was successful 2 minutes ago. So it did do the transfer. It just looks like for some reason ampersend might be having issues right now and it's not syncing here. Usually you'd see the dashboard here. Maybe it's a little lagged or latent, but it is working. Okay, so all right, so that was a longer demo than I wanted to do, but it was a good kind of walkthrough of like troubleshooting, especially with AI. Like everyone is using AI, so it's good to understand like the flow of what you need to do. And hopefully this was useful. You guys can build on x402 using ampersend, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Again, we do this every week. So every Friday at this time, we'll be on here live streaming. Next week is a really cool session because we're gonna have Marco De Rossi from MetaMask on to talk about ERC 8004. And that's gonna be really good, so don't miss that. So be sure to follow the EdgeNode X account and subscribe for updates, alerts, because when we go live, we don't get a link ahead of time, so we'll just, it'll be on the X account, and you can always watch the replay if you miss it, and we also are on YouTube as well. So thank you so much, guys, and I look forward to seeing you guys next time. Take care.